Today I want to give a demonstration of a receiver that I've talked about in the past that I really like, and it's basically what I do all my builds off now. This is a Aero Precision lower. It's built in Tacoma, Washington by Aero Precision. And from what I understand from doing some research, they do a lot of work for other companies. Two I've heard is Mega and Spikes, that they are the main supplier for lowers for those two companies. And for the money, I can't find a better receiver. I've switched all my builds now to this receiver. This is the only thing I use now. Whenever I see them on sale, I usually buy a couple just to stock up on them, just to have, because I build a lot of ARs. But the fit, the finish, everything about these receivers is just, in my opinion, perfect. And what I have today is a couple lowers. I want to show you what I mean by how they fit. It's a Rock River, a Stag, and just typical aftermarket. I got this one from Midway, this receiver, and built upon it. But these two I built, this one I bought. So majority of this is Stag, except for the Yankee Hill handguard that I have on it, the free-floated handguard. Other than that, it's all Stag. This one's factory, Rock River here, and like I said, I built this one. Different vendors, I bought different components for it, but it works good. It's a good receiver, good barrel, everything on it works good. So anyway, just give you an idea, you know, if you own a Rock River Arms, you know that they have a really good fit on their weapons. The upper and the lower, they mate really well, and what I want to demonstrate is this receiver. When I bought these ones, particular batch, are about half the cost of what a Rock River is, and I thought I'd give you a demonstration real quick of how well this fits. Everything goes together smooth, lines up good, and you can see it's no slop, just a perfect fit, just like a Rock River would be. Excellent finish on it, like I said. I mean, I like the detail work that they've done on these, but they mate really well with just about any manufacturer's uppers, and I've never had a problem with one. So I thought I'd give you a couple examples here how they fit. This is the heavy one here. This is the Stag. Once again, you see, really good fit. Mates up really well. I know that Stag and Rock River are basically the same gun. There's really not a big difference between the two firearms. They're both built by Continental Machining and Tooling. So of course those two would probably naturally mate well together. Not a very big work area here to go off of. But and this is just my plain Jane aftermarket. Threw it together. Don't have that much into it, but like I said, she works and functions good. I've used this upper in a couple other videos, but once again, fits really good. No complaints about these receivers. For the money, they can't be beat. I'll tell you that right now. Like I said previously, I got these for $60 each when they were on sale. So that was a really good deal on them. I couldn't pass them up because I've worked with them before and I know the quality and how they are. And I just couldn't resist, had to buy some just to have them around. Now, quick demonstration. This is a Rock River. Two-stage trigger. I've had this probably 6-7 years. Works really good. No problems with it, no complaints with it. And I'll just throw this cheapo here on it. Just give you a quick example. And you can see, fits just as good as the Aero, or the Aero fits just as good as a Rock River, depending on how you want to look at it. But they're really good product. I mean, the main reason I'm doing this video is there's a lot of people out there who want to start building their own AR. You know, they may have bought the first one. I mean, that's how I did it. I bought my first AR, and that was the only AR I bought. The rest of my ARs I've built. I mean, I like putting the guns together, and you learn a lot about them. You learn how they function and how they work, and it's a good learning tool to put one together. But anyone out there who's interested in building an AR, You don't have to go with the most expensive, top of the line, name brand receiver out there. As I just showed you, for the cost of an Aero, you're getting just as good a quality. There's nothing you're gaining by going with a name brand that's more well known than, say, Aero is, like a Stag, a Rock River, Spikes, which from what I understand, they're the same thing. But, you know, Spikes are more expensive than these. Generally, from what I see, these are the lowest price receivers I see out there. Continually. It doesn't matter what website I go on, the Aeros appear to always cost less. Are you getting less quality by spending less money? I'd say definitely not. I have not one complaint about these receivers. I plan on doing some more builds here, obviously, because I've stocked up on a couple, and I'm probably going to run Aero uppers on these. And some of that has to do with the fact that it's by the same company that builds them. But also, I had an Aero before, the upper, and they make great. I mean, a really nice fit. Probably, you're not gaining anything by it. But also, the other thing is, I've seen Aero uppers advertise the stripped ones for $61. I've seen blemished Aero uppers for $51. That's a heck of a deal for an upper receiver. And you're getting just as good quality as you say when you were to go out and buy a more expensive one. You're not gaining anything. And I'm trying to make this clear to people that you don't have to spend a lot of money in order to have a good quality weapon. Most of your parts today are built to mil spec, which means you take all the receivers, everything you want to do with a gun, a bolt carrier group, it doesn't matter. They're all built to the same specifications. Every now and then you'll get something that isn't quite in spec, but seldom. I've never experienced it. Everything I've ever bought, if it says mil spec, it's mil spec. I've never had a problem with it. And that's what you want to do. If it says it's built mil spec, then you know it's going to line up pretty much and work with whatever you're going to use with it. But I try to tell people, and I get a lot of people that ask me questions because I do a lot of work on AR-15s, and they're always asking me, well, I want to build one. What do I do? What should I go with? This is what I tell them to go with. Well, I heard Rock River's good. I heard Noveski's good. I've heard this other company's good. And I say, yeah, but you're not gaining anything. You're not getting any better of a product for spending twice the amount of money. You just don't gain anything from it. And to me, the people who go out and buy some of this high-end stuff because it's got somebody else's name stamped on it, you're throwing your money away. In my opinion, you are wasting your money. You don't need to. This will do everything you want it to do. And it's going to have the same quality as any of those high-end brands, and it's not going to cost you as much. Not nearly as much. I mean, I've seen these advertised complete lowers for $159. Assembled. 6-position buttstock, lower parts kit installed, everything ready to go, complete lower. I've seen them that low. I was looking on the internet tonight because my nephew wants to build a gun and I'm trying to get him out of it as cheap as I can. And the route I told him to go, basically for what he's wanting, is an Aero lower. I found him for $65 on sale, and I told him to just go with a Delton M4 kit. I've heard a lot of good reviews on Delton products. I've not heard anybody really complain about them. And he's going to have less than $600 into the entire gun. And it's quality stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to spend an arm and a leg to own an AR-15. That's what I try to put across to people when they're asking about these weapons. Well, how much am I going to spend? $1,000? I will never, ever have $1,000 into a gun. Ever. I won't do it. There's no reason for it. In my opinion, there's no reason you can't have a quality AR-15 and keep it under $1,000. I mean, I seldom build an AR-15 for more than $600. You just don't have to. There's no reason for it. So if you want to get into an AR-15, you want to build one, put one together yourself, go on YouTube, tons of videos on how these things go together. You go out and buy a simple $25 armorer's wrench, that's all you need. You can put the entire gun together. You don't need any special gunsmithing skills to put one of these together. They're simple. You might be intimidated when you first open up the bag of parts and see everything. I can put a lower together in probably about 10 minutes, if that. What's going to take you the longest is probably putting the pin through for the bolt release. Other than that, it's all screws and pins. Buffer screws in, pins hold the rest. Simplicity. There's nothing to it. Anyone who wants to build an AR-15, you don't have to be mechanically inclined or have any kind of special skills. Anyone can put one of these guns together. Anyone. You get the armorer's wrench, you can tighten down the lug for the barrel, and that's about the extent of it. That's basically what you need, is for the barrel, lug, and the castle nut that holds the buffer in place. Allen wrench to hold in pistol grip. That's about it. There's your tools you need. There's nothing complicated about these weapons. So if you are out there and you're watching this and you want to build an AR-15, and if you're on a budget, because a lot of people are on budgets today. I'm on budgets. I don't get, I can't afford to build all the stuff I want to build. It's just, it's finances. Everybody's there right now. But if you want to, I try to get it across to people, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to do so. It's just unnecessary. This is what you're going to get. Strip lower, buy a parts kit. Palmetto State Armory right now, you can get the complete lower parts kit for $99. I see them advertised. When Palmetto State has them on sale, they're $79. That's the buffer, the stock, all the parts, everything. I've heard good things about Palmetto State Armory parts kits. I've not heard hardly any complaints about them, really, to be honest with you. It's a cheap way to go. And right there, if you get one of these for $65, you're going to pay your transfer fee on it. But you have under $200 into a complete lower. I'm not saying lower receiver, I mean complete lower. All you have to get after that is the upper. You can pick an upper up all day long, complete upper, bolt carrier group, for under $500. All day long. I wouldn't go that route. I think there's cheaper ways to go, but that's me. I buy my parts a little bit differently than some people do. But it's a cheap alternative to going out and buying an assembled rifle. And you learn how to do it. That's the important thing. You learn how to put the gun together. If it malfunctions, you can look at the weapon and you know what pin goes where, how it operates, what spring does what, and you can pretty much self-diagnose the weapon. That's the beautiful thing about putting these together, is you learn how they operate. And there's really not that much to them, to be honest with you. There really isn't a lot to one of these guns. But it's a good learning tool. Putting your own gun together is a good learning tool. I did my first one. Yeah, I was a little intimidated. I didn't know what I was doing, and I just watch other people do it on YouTube, and that's how I learned. Now, piece of cake. No problem at all. You don't need an instruction manual. They're simple. It's one of the easiest guns you will ever find, ever. So, I really push the Aero Precision lowers. Like I say, the finish is just beautiful on them. And they're a good receiver. There's nothing wrong with them. Just because you're not spending a whole bunch of money doesn't mean you're not getting a good product. These are excellent, especially if you're a builder and you want to build guns. There's nothing wrong with these. And I fully believe in them. I've built on them, I've used them, and they work flawlessly. I've never had a problem with one of these. Never had a problem with one of my Rock Rivers, my Stags, or any of the other lowers I built in the past. But I'm just saying, for the money, you cannot beat Aero Precision. They're an excellent company. So anyone out there, if you want to do it, as you can see, it's not that hard to do. And you don't have to spend a whole bunch of money to do it. Like I said, you could build any AR, well, not any AR, depending on the accessories you want on it, but you can build a functioning M4 profile AR-15 for under $600. So anyone who wants to get into a gun, or if you've already got one and say your next one you want to build, this is a good starting point right here. Get an Aero Precision lower. You will never regret it. You will never regret this purchase. It's an excellent, excellent product. So the main purpose of this video is just to show people that you don't have to dump a whole bunch of money into parts when you're not gaining anything by doing it. Just because something doesn't cost a whole lot of money does not mean it's not good quality. This is excellent quality. You will never regret purchasing this. So that's what I have to say about this. Anyone who wants to build one, don't feel you have to go out and spend a whole bunch of money. These are perfect. Perfect to start with. And it's just an excellent platform to begin with.